Stop. Before you peel back the lid on that blueberry yogurt, you need to hear this. If you are in your 60s or 70s, what you think is a heart-healthy breakfast might actually be a silent trigger for brain fog and weight gain. For years, we have been told that blueberries are the ultimate superfood for the aging brain. But there is a hidden trap waiting for you on the supermarket shelf that almost no doctor warns you about. It looks like the perfect, convenient choice. A small purple cup labeled low fat and made with real fruit. You see that smooth swirl and feel confident you are starting your day the right way. But here is the stark reality that the food industry does not want you to notice. According to recent market reviews, many of those blueberry-flavored yogurts contain less than 2% real blueberries. The rest? It is a chemical cocktail of refined sugar, high fructose corn syrup, and synthetic dyes designed to mimic the appearance of actual fruit. A single 5-ounce serving often packs up to 20 grams of added sugar. That is roughly 4 teaspoons of sugar hitting your bloodstream all at once. For an older adult, this creates a rapid blood sugar spike followed by a sharp crash. This is why you might feel energized for an hour, only to be hit by intense fatigue and mental cloudiness by midday. But the most alarming part comes from research at Tufts University. Their studies suggest that when you consume high amounts of sugar alongside the antioxidants found in blueberries, your body loses its ability to absorb those brain protective compounds by up to 60%. You are essentially paying for a superfood but receiving a sugary dessert in disguise. As we age, our metabolism slows and our insulin resistance increases, making this habit a direct contributor to visceral belly fat and cognitive decline. The good news is that you do not have to give up your favorite breakfast. The fix is simple and powerful. Switch to plain Greek yogurt or unsweetened kefir and stir in your own fresh or frozen blueberries. This small change ensures you get the real fiber, probiotics, and antioxidants your body needs without the sugar trap. Remember, it is not just what you eat, but how the food industry processes it that determines your health. Now that we have cleared up the yogurt situation, let us talk about those fresh berries you just bought. They look perfect, right? Shiny, dusty blue, and ready to eat. But here is something, my friend, that might surprise you. Just because they look clean does not mean they are safe for us. In fact, blueberries consistently rank among the fruits with the highest levels of pesticide residues. Experts often call this the dirty dozen list, and for those of us over 60, this is a much bigger deal than most people realize. Think about it this way. When we were younger, our bodies were like steel traps. We could handle a little extra chemical load without a second thought. Our liver and kidneys were efficient, and our natural defenses were strong. But as the years go by, the game changes. Our gut lining becomes a bit thinner, and that critical blood-brain barrier, which acts like a security guard for your mind, is not as tough as it used to be. This means those tiny residues, specifically a group of chemicals called organophosphates, can slip through much more easily. Here's the scary part almost no one mentions. If you store those berries in the fridge unwashed for a few days, those chemicals do not just sit on the surface. They can actually migrate through the thin skin and settle right into the juicy flesh of the fruit. Over time, this buildup can quietly affect your nervous system. You might start noticing a little shaking in your hands or feel like your memory is slipping, and you probably just blame it on getting older. But what if it is actually coming from the very food on your plate? The good news is that I have a simple trick for you that works wonders. Do not just rinse them under the tap for 2 seconds. Instead, when you get home, fill a large bowl with cool water and mix in just 1 teaspoon of baking soda. Let your berries soak in there for about 15 minutes. Research shows this simple step can remove over 90% of those surface pesticides. Just rinse them gently afterward, pat them dry, and you are good to go. It is a tiny bit of extra effort that goes a long way in protecting your brain and keeping your nervous system steady. Now that your berries are sparkling, clean, and safe, I want to share something that might seem a bit strange. I have seen many of our friends peeling their berries or mashing them up because they are worried about digestion, or maybe because their teeth are not as strong as they used to be. Some even skip the fresh fruit entirely and reach for a jar of blueberry jam or a bottle of juice because it is just easier to swallow. But here is the secret I want you to know. That thin and dusty skin is not just a wrapper. I like to think of it as nature's armor. It is actually the most powerful part of the entire fruit. Did you know that over 80% of those amazing antioxidants called anthocyanins are packed right into that tiny skin? These are the exact compounds that help improve blood flow to your brain and keep your body from feeling stiff and inflamed as you move through your day. When you peel the berry or choose a juice where the skin has been filtered out, you are essentially throwing away 80% of the benefit you bought the berries for in the first place. It gets even more serious when we talk about processed versions like jams or baked goods. When these berries are heated up or turned into juice, nearly 90% of those vital nutrients can be destroyed. Plus, you lose the fiber. That skin provides the natural fiber your body needs to slow down how fast the natural sugars hit your system. Without that fiber, even a healthy fruit can cause a sudden sugar spike, which we know can be tough on our energy levels and our heart health as we age. So what do we do if chewing is a bit of a challenge? It is simple. Do not toss the skin. Instead, just toss the whole berry into a blender for a quick smoothie or stir them into a warm bowl of oatmeal. The texture softens perfectly, but the nutrients stay intact. This way you keep nature's armor working for you, protecting your memory and your vision with every single bite. Speaking of keeping those nutrients intact, there is something else I bet you have seen all over social media or in health magazines lately. You know those beautiful glass pitchers filled with detox water? They usually have bright blueberries and crisp green cucumber slices floating inside. It looks so refreshing and healthy, does it not? I used to think the exact same thing. I mean, you are combining two of nature's best foods into one drink. But here is the catch that almost no one is talking about. When you put blueberries and cucumbers together in the same bowl or the same glass, you might actually be canceling out the very benefits you are looking for. Let me explain the science behind it in a way that makes sense for us. Cucumbers are wonderful for hydration, but they contain a very specific enzyme called ascorbate oxidase. Now, do not worry about the fancy name. Just think of it as a little scavenger that loves to hunt down vitamin C. Blueberries, as we know, are a powerhouse source of vitamin C. This vitamin is our best friend as we get older because it keeps our immune system strong, helps our skin stay firm through collagen production, and even protects our blood vessels. Here is the problem. When that enzyme in the cucumber meets the vitamin C in the blueberries, during the digestion process, it starts breaking it down before your body can even use it. Some research has shown that this pairing can slash your vitamin C absorption by as much as 60%. Think about that for a second. You are doing all this work to eat well and buying the best produce, but you are only getting 40% of the fuel. For those of us over 60, our bodies already have a naturally harder time absorbing nutrients than they used to. We simply cannot afford to lose 60% of our vitamins just because of a trendy salad or a detox water recipe. If we are not getting enough vitamin C, we might notice our skin getting drier, or maybe a small scratch takes much longer to heal than it used to. It can even leave our immune system feeling more vulnerable. But do not worry, because you do not have to stop eating cucumbers. They are fantastic for you. The trick is simply about timing. All you have to do is separate them by at least an hour. Try having your blueberries with your morning oatmeal and save that cucumber for a lunch salad or a refreshing afternoon snack. It is a small change in your daily routine, but it ensures you are actually getting every bit of goodness you deserve. Since we are already on the subject of smart timing, let us talk about another popular duo that shows up in almost every fruit salad or tropical smoothie. I am talking about the combination of blueberries and pineapple. It sounds like a match made in heaven, right? One is tangy and the other is sweet. But for those of us who have celebrated a few more birthdays, this specific pair can be a real headache for your digestive system. Have you ever noticed that you feel a bit bloated or get a nagging case of heartburn after a big fruit breakfast? Most of us just shrug it off and say, well, I guess that is just what happens when you get older. But the truth is, your body might be struggling to handle the acid load. You see, as we age, our stomach acid levels actually tend to drop, but the lining of our stomach becomes much more thin and sensitive. When you toss blueberries and pineapple together, you are creating a heavy cocktail of citric, malic, and ascorbic acids. This concentrated burst of acid forces your stomach to work overtime, often leading to that uncomfortable reflux or a dull ache that can ruin your afternoon. And here is the kicker that scientists have started to uncover. Pineapple contains a very powerful enzyme called bromelain. Now, bromelain is great for digestion in the right context, but when it meets the delicate polyphenols in your blueberries, it can actually change their structure. Some reports suggest that eating them together can slash the antioxidant power of your meal by as much as 35%. It is frustrating to think that you are trying so hard to eat healthy only for your fruits to work against each other. But do not worry, you do not have to pick a favorite. You can still enjoy both. The trick is simply to give your stomach a break. I like to have my blueberries in the morning with my yogurt to get that brain boost early on. Then I save the pineapple for a refreshing snack later in the day, or even as a little dessert after lunch. By giving them about an hour of space, your body can absorb the bromelain from the pineapple and the antioxidants from the berries without any drama. It is all about working with your body instead of making it work harder. Now, I know what you are probably thinking. If these berries are so good for my memory and my heart, then why not just eat a giant bowl of them every single day? We have all been told that more fruit equals more health, right? I used to think the exact same thing. I would fill up a big container and just snack away while watching my favorite shows. But here's the thing, my friend. Even the best superfoods have a limit, and for those of us over 60, that limit is more important than you might realize. It turns out that the more is better philosophy can actually backfire. You see, even though blueberries are relatively low in calories, they still contain a significant amount of natural fructose. As we get older, our cells naturally become a bit less responsive to insulin. This means our bodies have to work much harder to process that sugar. If you sit down and eat more than a cup of blueberries at once, you could be raising your post-meal blood sugar levels by as much as 40%. Instead of feeling energized, you might find yourself feeling surprisingly tired or even a little lightheaded shortly after. And let us talk about something we all value as we age, and that is a good night of sleep. If you are a fan of a late-night fruit snack, you really need to be careful with your portions. When your blood sugar spikes and then crashes quickly, your body can react by releasing a surge of adrenaline. Think of it as a tiny internal alarm clock going off right when you are trying to rest. That adrenaline blocks you from reaching those deep restorative sleep cycles, which explains why you might wake up feeling exhausted and worn out the next morning. It is a cycle of fatigue that many people never trace back to their healthy evening snack. There is also the matter of your digestion. While fiber is generally our friend, too much fiber and natural acid hitting your system at once can lead to some really uncomfortable bloating or even a dash to the bathroom. I have talked to so many people who thought they had developed a sensitive stomach or a new food allergy, when in reality, they just had a portion control problem. So here is my simple suggestion to keep you feeling your best. Instead of one big serving, try to limit yourself to about half a cup at a time. You can still enjoy them 2 or 3 times a day, but just spread them out. And here's a pro tip. Always try to pair your berries with a little bit of protein or some healthy fats. Throw in a handful of almonds or stir them into some cottage cheese. This one simple trick slows down the sugar absorption and keeps your energy levels steady as a rock all day long. It is all about finding that perfect dose that nourishes your body without making it work overtime. So we have talked about how much to eat and when to eat it, but now we need to talk about what exactly is inside that berry. I know when we go to the grocery store, it is so tempting to just grab the biggest and most shiny container that is on sale. I mean, a bargain is a bargain, right? But when it comes to blueberries specifically, that lower price tag might be telling you a lot more than you realize. Between you and me, choosing non-organic blueberries can be a risky move once we cross that 60-year mark. Here is why. Conventionally grown blueberries are often listed as one of the most chemically treated fruits out there. In fact, some reports have found over 50 different types of synthetic pesticides on and even inside a single batch. Now, I know we talked about that baking soda wash earlier, and it is a lifesaver for surface dirt, but here is the catch that many people miss. Many of these chemicals are designed to be systemic. That means they actually penetrate the skin and move into the juicy flesh of the fruit while it is growing on the bush. You could scrub those berries all day and you still would not reach the chemicals hiding deep inside. For us, this matters so much more than it does for a 30-year-old. As we get older, our liver and our kidneys naturally start to slow down a bit. They are not the high-speed detox machines they used to be. Plus, that protective barrier that keeps toxins out of our brain can get a little bit weaker over time. This makes us way more vulnerable to what researchers call the chemical burden. There was a very eye-opening study from the National Institute of Environmental Health Sciences that really hit home for me. They found that people who frequently ate non-organic produce had a 35% higher likelihood of experiencing mild cognitive decline compared to those who chose organic. Think about that for a second. 35%. That is a huge difference when we are talking about staying sharp and keeping our independence. I like to think of buying organic blueberries as a direct investment in my long-term brain health. It is not just about avoiding chemicals, it is about giving your nervous system a fighting chance. If the organic ones are too pricey, maybe try buying a smaller amount of the good stuff, or look for local farmers who do not use those harsh sprays. It is far better to have a few clean berries than a whole bowl of toxic ones. Are you ready for our final tip? We are going to look at how a simple mistake in your refrigerator could be turning your healthy snack into a source of hidden inflammation. Now that you have made the wise choice to invest in the best organic berries for your brain health, we have to talk about the final piece of the puzzle. Believe it or not, how you handle those berries once you step inside your kitchen is just as important as the berries themselves. I have seen so many of our friends make the same mistake. They get home, wash their berries immediately under the tap, and then seal them tightly in a plastic bag or a container before pushing them to the back of the refrigerator. They think they are being clean and organized, but in reality, that is the fastest way to turn a superfood into a health risk. Here is the real kicker. When you wash berries, before you are ready to eat them and seal them up, you are creating a humid environment that is a breeding ground for invisible mold spores called mycotoxins. For those of us over 60, these toxins are a big deal. They can develop within just 48 hours before you even see any fuzzy white spots. These invisible spores can trigger gut inflammation and even joint pain. So many seniors tell me their knees or hands hurt more than usual, and they just assume it is a normal part of getting older. But sometimes it is actually coming from the way we store our food. Not to mention, improper storage can cause the antioxidant levels in your blueberries to drop by a staggering 40% in just 2 days. So let us fix that right now with a simple routine. To keep your berries fresh and powerful for up to 10 days, keep them unwashed until the moment you want to eat them. Store them in a shallow glass container lined with a fresh paper towel to soak up any moisture. Make sure you do not seal the lid completely so the air can circulate. This keeps them firm, nutrient-rich, and safe for your digestion, bringing it all together for your best health. As we look back at everything we have shared today, it is clear that health after 60 is not about complicated diets or expensive supplements. It is about awareness and these 8 simple habits we have covered. 1. Avoid the sugar trap of store-bought yogurt. 2. Use the baking soda soak to remove hidden toxins. 3. Never peel the skin where the brain power lives. 4. Give your blueberries and cucumbers some space. 5. Do not let pineapple acidity interfere with your digestion. 6. Keep your portions to a half cup to protect your sleep. 7. Always choose organic to protect your nervous system. 8, store them unwashed in a breathable glass container. My friend, aging does not have to mean getting weaker. It is about being smarter with the choices we make every single day. When you respect your food, you are respecting your own body and your future. I would truly love to hear from you now. Which one of these 8 mistakes were you making without even realizing it? Or do you have a special way you like to enjoy your berries? Please share your thoughts in the comments below, because your experience could be the exact thing someone else needs to hear today. Thank you for spending this time with me, and I look forward to seeing you in our next conversation about staying strong and independent.